So in this video, we're going to take a look at the acceptable deferred defect log, which is a little bit of a tongue twister. So it's often referred to as the ADD log. And I guess as the name suggests, it's a log of defects that the engineering department have deemed that we can carry, and they're acceptable for certain types of flight for a certain period of time. And that's often until the next service interval. So let's have a look at what one of these is. So this is something that as a PPL student, you wouldn't need to complete, but it's absolutely something that you need to understand and understand what it means to your flight that day and understand whether that ADD is still in place or whether it's been cleared. So this is what it looks like completed. So this is for VNEA. And you can see top right, there is a serial number. That's just the second page on the ADD list. So this aircraft has an ADD, and let's work through what it says. So it says that it's fault number 1, and it was found on the 21st of the 1st, 2026. And the defect that was found is that the landing light is unserviceable. And the limitation on the aircraft is that it can be flown in day VFR flight only. So it's restricted to day flight in VFR conditions only. So if we want to fly at night, we couldn't take this aircraft. If we wanted to fly IFR, we couldn't take this aircraft. So the box that's in the middle, that MELREF, stands for minimum equipment list. And that's not relevant to the Technams or most light aircraft, actually. So that's more relevant for bigger aircraft, where we may have a list of limitations within the aircraft documentation that details what can be accepted and what can't be. So that's not relevant to the mentor. So we're just going to put NA in there. And the decision is going to be made by our local engineering team at Multiflight. So they're the people that have determined that it's happy for this to fly. So this is a pretty straightforward, common one. Sometimes they get a little bit more complex and need a little bit more discussion. And again, so you may see within the ADD something that's a little bit more unusual and may have slightly more complex limitations around it. But for this one, we've got, as I say, restricted day flight only. And this restriction is valid until the 28th of the 2nd, 2026. And this is when it's going in for its next service. So if you come to this and it is the 1st of March and it's not been signed off, then you're not able to fly the airplane. So that's really, really key. So understand the limitation, understanding the date. And you can see that it's been approved by FN, who's our engineer. And you may see a stamp on there as well. There may be the Multiflight stamp. So as it stands, we can only fly this aircraft in the day VFR. Once the engineers have had a look at this and more than likely replaced that landing light, we'll see this. So the green box will be completed, and that tells us that the ADD has now been cleared. So BN has reviewed it, has made the relevant repair, and therefore removed the restriction. And you can see that they've done that on the 1st of the 2nd, 2026. So they did that before that service interval, and that often happens quite commonly. So they set a date where it needs doing by, but actually if they're able to look at it beforehand, then we'll get them to look at it beforehand. So if you come to this and the green box is signed off, then everything is completely back to normal and there's no restriction on the aircraft. I do think it's really useful to look at this. Well, you need to look at this every flight, but what I was going to say is it's really useful to read in detail every flight, even if they've been signed off, because you might see snags or defects that have occurred in the past and the restrictions that are on them, and it might give you something to keep your eye out for future flights or future walkarounds on this aircraft. So this documentation is really, really key. So I hope you found this useful. This is definitely one of those things, if you read something and you're not sure what it means and you don't fully understand the implication of it, please speak to somebody in the ops team or one of the instructors, and so we can look at it with you together and we can just fully explain what the paperwork says and what the restriction might be.